What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be bringing you my Mortal Kombat review, and it's going to be quick and concise and to the point. I've been able to spend ample time with the game and kind of discover the highs and lows it has to offer. And if you guys know, I don't believe in reviewing a game unless I'm absolutely positively sure about it and that I've played it. And you know, a lot of people review games before they've really had a chance to discover like the flaws of it, and I hope to say that that is not the case with this game. I've played it enough to where I know that I can give a fair judgment of how I feel about it. So first, I want to take a moment and kind of talk about the story mode. Story has always been a pretty big force behind Mortal Kombat games, at least with like kind of like the backstory behind them. There's been several movies and kind of like spin-off comics that have focused on the universe. So there's really no shortage of the lore within the world of Mortal Kombat. So this time the story is a pretty big factor, and instead of fighting your way up like a ladder to the final boss, you kind of progress through the cutscenes, fighting as a character each time you're challenged by that person within the story. And it'll kind of jump between characters, and it's a method that works pretty well and keeps things interesting. My biggest complaint still seems to be that you don't get to spend enough time with some of the characters that you love, but there's always the ability to go back and kind of play the ladder mode as them. But the story has been altered somewhat, and there seems to be much more like a reboot of the first game, if anything. You kind of play as Raiden, and you go back in time to kind of your future self sends you a message to kind of alter the way you feel kind of progress through your life. And some hardcore fans might be kind of put off by this, but others will see it kind of as a breath of fresh air. At least that's what I would say. It's definitely not a long story mode, but luckily there's ample amounts of things to do elsewhere in the game. After you complete the story mode, you'll actually unlock a lot of cool things, and you should be ready to kind of explore some of the other modes. So the developers have kind of reached back and brought back some of the silly mini games that were present in the first Mortal Kombat. Because if you can remember, there was that wood chopping game and a few other ones, if I believe, where you just had to pound on a button. So in this game, you have a luck-based slot machine game type, and then you have a random which skull is the eyeball under game, which a lot of you guys might know from seeing on the big screens at sporting events where they put like a baseball under a hat and move it around, and you got to guess which one it's under. So there's plenty of crazy mini games to keep yourself occupied for a while if you find that interesting. So in addition to these mini games, they've also included modes that are akin to the classic days of Mortal Kombat. So you have ladder mode, which you fight your way up a tower of 10 people with a character of your choice, which doesn't matter which character. Waiting at the top is none other than Shao Kahn, which is just like the older games. Once you defeat him, you've beaten the ladder, and you can unlock even more goodies, such as in the challenge tower, you'll unlock new challenges in there. So you can kind of vary your difficulty from beginner to expert, and most of Mortal Kombat veterans will feel right at home in this mode because, like I said, it's just like the older games. So another new feature that'll keep you occupied for a little bit is, like I mentioned, the challenge tower. This mode kind of offers players the chance to complete routine challenges, such as not allowing yourself to get hit within 15 seconds, or like killing 20 barakas that have like one health point per person. This mode is mostly for variety and doesn't really offer a whole lot in terms of replayability because I don't really see people going back to complete the challenges again once they do them. So Challenge Tower kind of offers quite a few different levels of like challenges with almost all the characters. Even I haven't gotten to the top, so there's an endless amount. I think I'm on like level 120. I think there's more. I'm not sure about that, but there's plenty to do in Challenge Tower. So finally, let's move on to everybody's most anticipated part of this review, I'm sure, which is multiplayer. Most people will probably be interested in this aspect of the game, seeing that is what gives Mortal Kombat the replay value. And there's several modes to compete in online. Those range from the tag battle, which is a new feature in this Mortal Kombat, to a ranked 1v1. Both ranked and play now modes have tag and 1v1 game types in them, so you can choose whichever one you want. So it will offer players the chance to kind of put their true skill levels on the line versus another opponent. That's what the ranked playlist does. So there's a lot to offer in those two playlists, especially if you want to just sit down and fight a random player. So new players might be kind of intimidated by this. I know I was, but if you practice a lot, and practice makes perfect, and the game does a fairly good job of pairing you with players of similar skill levels. Once you get a few games under your belt, the true skill really won't be true until you've played probably about your first 10 matches, I'd say. After that, you get paired with people that are pretty much close to your skill level. So characters seem pretty balanced, and I haven't really run into anyone super overpowered as of yet. That's not to say they aren't out there, but with my experiences online, most have been pretty positive. Although I have received my fair share of beatings because I am a noob at fighting games. Another online game type is the King of the Hill ladders, which presents players with the opportunity to be kind of like the last man standing in the lobby of 10 contestants. It's a pretty cool idea, and it's a lot of fun for players wanting to prove themselves on the battlefield. But the one thing that I've had an issue with in this game mode is the pacing. It sometimes leads to people quitting early because it takes so long to finish matches. Still, it is an interesting game mode, which gives the multiplayer some variety. So if you're not much for online random opponents, the game offers the private lobby feature, which you can play with friends and train to be the best in the outworld. I will warn you, though, that this mode is extremely laggy for me for whatever reason. That may have just been like release day jitters, but it was annoying nonetheless. So if you've gotten this far into the review, you're probably wanting to know what I truly think about Mortal Kombat. It's a great game. It offers a lot of more value than some of the other fighting games out there. From a great story mode to a tension-filled multiplayer, it should keep you happy for a long time. Now, if you're a Mortal Kombat fan or a casual fighting fan, I'd highly suggest picking this up if you just want a bit of nostalgia. However, if you're more of a hardcore fighting fan, you might see more flaws in the game than I did. Like I said, I am by no means a fantastic fighter player extraordinaire, but I enjoyed Mortal Kombat. I found the game to be approachable for a casual fan, despite having kind of a steep learning curve on some of the combos, especially in like the tag matches. So overall, I'd say Mortal Kombat is a solid buy for anyone on the fence about it. Do I think it's the best game ever? No. Do I think it's the best game this year? Not a chance. But I'm certainly enjoying it, and it's a nice change of pace from the first-person shooters oversaturated market. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. This was just my thoughts on it. I will probably do a more comprehensive multiplayer review once I figure out the ins and outs of multiplayer to a more advanced knowledge, because I do plan on playing that a lot. And you can look forward to seeing some multiplayer matches posted. So if you enjoyed this, be sure to rate it. It helps me out a ton. I spent a lot of time on this, so I will see you guys next time.